from high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com. Z Nation. Z Nation. Where consciousness is queen, love really is the answer. And making a difference is on the menu. Z Nation. Organic beats and inspiring treats. Get your weekly dose of vitamin Z now. This is Z Nation on SoFloRadio.com.
Hola world. Hi.
Bless up, dear brothers and sisters. This is Zayna to Gaia. This is Z Nation show right here. We're broadcasting live in Hollywood, Florida. And this is the first show of the year.
Yay, I'm
Welcome
so excited.
home. 2016, the year of radical self-care.
Radical self-care.
Amen.
I wanted to start the show today by just pausing. You know, we always want to start and talk, so let's pause and feel the silence and the power of our silence and our stillness together. (2016). Here we are. So we're really excited today. We have a really special guest. Her name is Graell. Give me your last name again.
Corsini.
I know it was elegant and sweet. So Graell is here joining us with the Goddess Temple Ashland. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and we will be talking about the work that she's doing in the world and all that. So, and I have a special surprise for you, Graell. So thank you for coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So yeah, the year has started. I created 2016 to be, for me, the year of God. The year of knowing myself as God without a doubt, and really living that truth and being that truth without a doubt. And it's awesome because when we create something like that, the universe gives us everything that's not that.
Mm-hmm.
So we can, be with it, confront it, embrace it.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've been really having this conversation with myself. First of all, one of the things that I've taken on is not giving myself permission anymore to have conversations around people that make them wrong or that speak to them as less than God. And it's at a subtle level where I've been really observing how I think about people, how I speak to them, and also how I speak to myself and how I relate to myself, and starting to observe those ways of thinking and being that are at a lower vibration than God vibration. So that's what 2016 is about for me. And Sunset, what did you create for 2016?
I said to just be myself and to have strength to deal with the things that I know that are going to come up. I did a lot of that last year, and it took a toll. And so this year I'm like, I know in order for me to connect, I have to explore. Mm-hmm. So as I'm in that exploration, getting to know people, getting to know myself, dealing with past things, for me to have strength and not let it take over my whole day. So that's for me.
Yes.
So
awesome. Cool. One thing that's been coming up is I this conversation about vulnerability. And I have a friend I met yesterday. She came to my yoga class, and she was sharing with me that she's writing this book about her journey in she was dealing with an eating disorder for 8 years, and she's writing a book about her journey. Wow. And yeah,
that's so raw.
It's so raw. And I really encouraged her. I said, listen, create a timeline and get this out as soon as possible, because it's really not about you. Like there's so many people that you can make a difference with by sharing. And I was talking to another friend who's dealing with a lot of like depression, and she's also overweight, and it really, she knows what she has to do to be healthy, but she has not been able to have the breakthrough because, we all know what we need to do to be healthy. And a lot of us don't do what we need to do because it's deeper than just knowing. It's like we have brain patterns, childhood issues, all kinds of stuff that gets in the way of us fulfilling on what we know to do. And then we get mad at ourselves because we're not doing what we know what we need to do. And we can't seem to put a finger on what gets in the way. And, what I've discovered for myself is I keep sharing. And the sharing at first makes me very nervous because I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a teacher trainer. I lead meditations. I lead goddess circles. I do a lot of work. And for me to come out and say, I have massive breakdowns. I do feel depressed sometimes. I have negative thoughts. All that stuff. At first, it feels very risky. And it feels like, ooh, it's going to make me look bad in my community. It's going to make me look bad in the world. I shouldn't look like this. I shouldn't talk like this. And what I've discovered is the more I share, the more I heal.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's instantaneous. And it really takes courage to put ourselves out there. It takes courage to, the word vulnerable is being thrown around a lot, and it's not just about, being vulnerable, maybe by writing something, but it's a way of being when we sit with each other, that we're willing to bear ourselves, to let the barriers down and like really be truthful and real with each other. Like we just had a meeting this morning with a friend of ours, and at the end I was like, I'm feeling really anxious. Like this meeting made me a little bit anxious, and it had nothing to do with them. It was just me being real about what I was feeling, and I don't have to pretend like I'm this strong person that doesn't feel anxiety or, I feel sensations in my body all the time. Before I come on this show in the morning, I'm always feeling the sensations. I can call them excitement, and I can call them anxiety. I call them whatever the heck I want, and they're still there. And it's like the muscle, and we're forming this muscle of doing things we know to do, taking those actions we know to do, even if we feel the sensations, the fear, the anxiety. I don't know about you, but I've given up trying to get rid of those sensations because they're part of my humanity and they're part of what makes me me.
Well, they say like the more you try to avoid something, the more it's going to become present. Yeah. And I feel like the moment you say, you know what, I'm feeling pissed off, or I'm feeling angry, and not trying to justify it. Because we made it, like you said last time, we made this culture of what a yogi is, right? Or we have to be perfect. That's just too much pressure. Like, we're not gurus. We're regular people. We're regular people that is sharing this information. That's it.
I remember the spelling of guru. G-U-R-U.
Exactly.
Right?
So, I mean, like, we're still human. We live in this human world, and we all go through everyday things, and we all have a past, and we're not exempt from being human. So
right. And when we take the moment to acknowledge this feeling and have the awareness of it, it actually diffuses it.
yes,
It really does. And there's like a pitfall that we fall into once, we've done all this conscious transformational work, and it's like we put this expectation on ourselves, like, I should know better. I shouldn't be so reactive. I should be positive. I should be this. I should be that. Why? We have, many lifetimes, some of us, many, many, many lifetimes to achieve this place that we're going to. And even like saying that, like we have to get somewhere. There's nowhere to get to. One of the things that I've taken on, I did work with Landmark, the Landmark Forum, and they have a distinction called choice. And choice is simply, accepting, being with things exactly as they are, right? Like, one example that's given is like if you have a flat tire, right? Life will give you a flat tire, and you could choose a flat tire or you could not choose it, but the flat tire is still there. It's much easier to choose it and then deal with the situation than resist it and then suffer. But what I've been noticing for myself is, those times where I'm not like in my power or I'm reactive. In those moments, I pause and I choose that. I choose my nastiness. I choose my bitchiness. I choose my impatience. I choose my intolerance. I choose my judgmental way of being towards others and myself. And it's been a practice of choosing and accepting things exactly how they are. It was such a blind spot for me because I would, let's say, react to something, and then I would beat myself up, and it would make things much worse. And I wasn't being loving or patient or non-judgmental to myself, which is what I preach to others to be with others. And I wasn't doing that with myself. So that's my practice in this moment, is to keep choosing those parts of me. And that's what we talk about, like loving myself, loving myself, loving myself. Loving myself is loving all of it.
Word, every little thing. And I told somebody yesterday, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I told him, listen, if you only choose to entertain the racket that's going on in your situation for 9 minutes instead of 10 minutes, give yourself a high five.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's with the conscious choice brings immediate self-acceptance.
Yes.
So there's the forgiveness aspect is already included.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And when we start, and it's the practice slows us down enough so that we can become aware of ourselves and not only what we're thinking, but like the water we swim in. Like, what's the context that you're living your life in? What is the context that I'm existing in? And that's why I created 2016 to be the year of knowing myself as God. That's the context in which I'm operating, and keep reminding myself, like when I have those breakdowns or I'm not so, enlightened or high off of life, who I am is God. And inside of that context, I can have a lot of space for myself and also compassion for myself. And I think it's so important for us to tune into that, like, especially as healers and people who are giving so much to others. And we're preaching so much of these teachings that are important for us to share. This is the time to share, and also to stop and apply it to ourselves. Love is not like it's not a concept. Love is action. That's how in this 3D form we express this energy that we've named love. It comes to life through action. And it comes to life, so does forgiveness, so does acceptance, so does compassion. They're expressed through action, whether they're words or things that we do or that we express. And I'm really starting to hone in on, okay, I can hold a lot of compassion for others, but is it really authentic compassion if I'm not holding that same compassion for myself? It's almost like it's they call it frosting over a mud pie. Like a lot of frosting on top of BS. And so now when I put my hands together and I say namaste, which means the light in me bows to the light in you. Yeah, that's awesome. And if I really want to authentically bow to that light in you, like, I've got to be present to my light. Like, no kidding. Like, really standing in my divinity and really standing in my light and really acknowledging it and loving it and being it, and also standing and acknowledging and accepting the darkness. That's all of me, all of my humanity, and that gives room for source to really be present. It gives room for the divine light to really enter my life and be what guides me. And I think it's we all go through it. It's like, it's so conceptual. We get into the scene, we start learning about the teachings, whether it's yoga or it's all intermingled. But the teachings to higher consciousness, to really embody it, to really live it, At first it is conceptual, like anything else. It's almost like we're all faking it till we make it. And that's fine. It's like affirmations. You affirm things over and over again till your brain really starts to believe it, till it's in your heart. So wherever we are in our process, and knowing that people are in that process too. Sometimes I hear people talking about people in the yoga community like, oh, well, they weren't really a yoga. They're not really a yogi. Well, if we're judging one another for being yogis,
then we're not being yogis.
Yeah, and even as I'm saying, I'm noticing, like not making people wrong for doing that, because we all do a little bit of that, but we can like have compassion for ourselves in the moment, catch it, and then also have compassion for others that are on their journey wherever they are, and we're on our journey wherever we are, and we can hold that compassion space for ourselves, for others.
And I think what it is, like when they wrote these books like the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita or all these spiritual texts, right, they didn't write about when Jesus went to go hang out with robbers and prostitutes and all that. I'm pretty sure he gave in to some of those desires too, but nobody's going to write that. And so we don't have that story. We only have the part. And I feel like now it's like, okay, I do have moments, but this is like the time between this moment and then that moment of having that awareness, like the things I fall into. And I feel like that's what people want to see. It's like, okay, so I know that I'm going to have those fluffy and moments, but I know I might fall a little bit. I might get, off track a little bit, and that's okay because everybody did it. And I'm pretty sure Jesus did it, Buddha did it. For instance, like wasn't, how you call it? What's the guy who does Buddhism again?
Buddha?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry. I'm pretty the story of like how he was in like the palace and all that, and then he decided to go into like the streets and all that. I'm pretty sure he had some moments when he was like, what the hell is
he
up?
Had his stories.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna record that because it's not beneficial for for them to put the stories that Jesus had his pitfall in the Bible. It wasn't beneficial. It wasn't beneficial for them to put Buddha's pitfalls in there because they're trying to, it was money. It was a lot of, conspiracy. There's a lot of little things. So you're not going to get that. You're just going to get the main points.
Yeah, sometimes there are seeds of those stories in the various creation myths, but what it comes down to is just like, what are we doing to embody authenticity? And it is incredibly inspiring. Like, as you said, Zayna, it's so inspiring, especially when our students witness that we are not on the pedestal that they're putting us on. The first priestess training that I did in Mount Shasta many, many years ago, one of the first teachings was when I witnessed all of these beautiful women totally putting me on a pedestal the moment we began. And I said, okay, we're going to start our first lesson. And I went over and I got a chair and I stood up on top of the chair. And I said, I invite each one of you to come over, to take my hand, take me down from this chair and meet me eye to eye as your equal, as your reflection.
That's beautiful. Because
if we don't do this now, it is human nature for you to absolutely knock me off of what you have put me on.
Absolutely.
So let's start here and now.
That's beautiful.
That's so beautiful. God. This is kind of, it's an interesting segue. There's this phenomenon going on right now called FOMO. Do you know FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
And it is. And it has come, it's actually fear of missing out. And the rest of the definition is it came from social media. So it came from, people, and I just was talking to someone yesterday who's taken a break from social media and she feels so much better. But that was her big thing, is she would go onto social media and she would be comparing herself to other people,
Comparing your life to people's highlight reels.
Exactly.
Highlight reels.
Comparing your life to people's highlights. And that's what you brought that when you said about the Bible and Buddha. And but that's what we're doing. This is the culture, you know, of like, look how great my life is, and how da 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 da, and then it's not the real thing. And I you know, social media, I love it. I love that I can know what's going on in the world without watching CNN and Fox News. And my media outlet is my conscious community letting me know what's going on. I mean, that to me is priceless. And then, you know, there are the pitfalls of like spending too much time on it and having it run your life, and also comparing ourselves to others' highlights.
Yeah.
And it's also important to, you know, observe like what we post on social media. Like, why am I posting this? Is this something that is informing people of something that can help them? Is this something that's inspiring people that will make a difference, you know? Or am I just posting something because I want to make myself look good, or put out some kind of image of myself that, you know, may not be the full image? So, you know, it's everybody's on their path. And
doing personal inventory around what is your agenda.
Yes. Whether it's posting something on social media or in everything that we say. You know, Moses said something in class the other day. Moses Lovett, I love yoga, that I loved. He said, you know, if you want to practice satya, which is one of the niyamas, which is truth, then shut your effing mouth. Is the highest level of truth, because a lot of what we say is stories and perceptions and opinions, and not ultimately the truth. So the observance, you know, of what we put out there and what the intention is. So that's our beginning of 2016, y'all.
That was so beautiful.
So Sister Circles, we're going to be talking about the Goddess Temple in Ashland with Graell. And want to remind you, the Sunset and I are taking a group of 9 women to Jamaica this February.
Jamaica.
And you know, we're going to be doing them also locally here in South Florida. The intention is to really just create an environment where sisters can come together in a place where we're safe, where we can unwind and relax and slow down. And in that space, we can create, we can bond, we can be creative, and have a really good time. And for me, it's important for me to do this for myself, because I work a lot, I love what I do, and to do anything, we have to stop, pause, observe, and take some planning time. So that's what that's about. If you're interested, please contact us, ZNationRadio.com. And we have details on there too about the retreat, what it includes. And if this resonates with you, just reach out to us and make it happen.
Yes.
So we're going to be right back right after these important messages from our lovely, conscious, and supportive sponsors. Thank you all for supporting Z Nation Radio. In whatever way you're supporting, we hear you and we appreciate you. And we'll be right back right here on SoFloRadio.com.
Tune in to get tuned in. This is Z Nation on SoFloRadio.com.
Add a twist of yoga.
Yoga Twist with Julie.
A great way to integrate yoga, meditation, and lots of fun.
Promote family bonding. Help with flexibility and exercise.
Julie has been teaching kids for over 8 years in after-school programs, summer camps, and local studios.
Book a group, family, or one-on-one session now. Email me, yogatwistjulie@gmail.com.
Follow Yoga Twist Julie on Instagram and like Yoga Twist on Facebook for great family lifestyle tips and Yoga Twist events.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Clark, and I'm a yoga teacher and student at I Love Yoga Studio. It's been my privilege to practice, learn, and expand in this place of ever-evolving love and spiritual growth. When you visit, you'll most likely be greeted with a welcome home, and that's exactly how you will feel, at home and free to be. The studio offers yoga classes that meet you at your level of practice with affordable prices. So check out our schedule at www.iloveyogastudio.com. See you on the mat. Namaste.
Omar is a certified hypnotist with an intuitive and gentle approach that empowers his clients, allowing them to realize their own wisdom. Personally, I'd been stuck in a heartbreak, and with Omar's help, I got to the root of my suffering and my attachment to staying in relationships that no longer served me. I instantly felt lighter and free from resentment for the first time in years. Contact Omar at 305-343-9210 and cause a breakthrough in your life.
Join the Z Nation team as a marketing partner. We are always looking for conscious, sustainable businesses to support and share with our growing community. If your business is one that serves humanity and you want the world to know, we want to help you grow. Sponsorship opportunities are available for all budgets and flavors. For more info, call us at 954-604-1290 or visit ZNationRadio.com.
Now back to Z Nation, your weekly dose of inspiration on SoFloRadio.com.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Thank you, Adi.
Not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Wild. I know.
The eye of the hawk says fly into your faith. Spread your wings as you're kissing new beginnings in the face. Let go.
Let go.
Embrace the unknown space. The wind of change will.
That's our sister Adi Love. You can find her on YouTube, Adi Love. She's just so magical.
Her music reminds me of when I was growing up. Like, my dad was a DJ. He played a lot of like beats like that, you know, like I can tell. I know what she's about. I know.
She's like the Lady Gaga of high consciousness, and she's on point.
She's all about that Shakti all the way.
I'd like to hear her with MC Yogi.
That would be amazing.
My God.
Yeah, that would be a good collaboration. Mm-hmm. So welcome, Graell.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you. So Graell is coming at us from Ashland. She has Goddess Temple Ashland.com. That's in Oregon.
That's in Oregon, Southern Oregon, only an hour and a half north of Mount Shasta, California.
Oh, wow. That's how close you are to Mount Shasta. What a vortex. So you are a priestess.
I am.
A birth and death attendant.
I am.
Wow. You also facilitate goddess yoga, heart nectar dance, and you guide couples in spiritual intimacy.
I do.
We're going to get into all that juiciness.
Yum.
In just a moment. Can I sing her song?
Yes.
Okay,
let's please do.
It's not complete, but it's the beginning of a song that could be written for you, Graell.
Okay.
Okay. Hope you like it. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Z11 sunset, we coming at you strong. Ready to make an entrance, so back on up, cause you know about to tear it up. Give me the microphone first, cause I got something to say. Graell is in the house, leading the way. She creates sacred spaces everywhere she goes. She's the goddess at the Goddess Temple. She likes to flow. Her flow is life-changing, shape-shifting, intuitively guided. That's who she is.
So let's chill to the next episode.
Yes. La da 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 da.
That was good.
You,
you were
that
so
was
nervous. You were like, I don't know, I'm flowing.
So I like to just take it to the boundaries with that.
I love it.
Doing what scares me every day.
Oh, I want to share a short song with you.
Sure.
Yeah?
Do you need a beat or a cappella?
No. I want you to visualize that we're sitting around a fire.
Awesome.
All right. And tuning in with our elemental selves. Stone in my bone, river in my blood, wind in my breath, and fire in my heart. I am a woman. I am free. I am a woman. Milk, blood, and honey. There you go.
Did you write that?
I love it.
Did you write that? That's yours?
I did. Yeah.
I love it.
It's a good one to just do it around. And just,
Yes.
Yeah, bring it on.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Milk, blood, and honey.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Oh man. Before we get into all of this, I'm just curious, like, were you always like this? No, but we always wonder, like, do people, some people have the awakening, the aha moment, and some people are brought up in, the what we call like the woo-woo spiritual stuff. How was it
Okay.
like for
Long
you?
story short. All right.
Please.
Timeline. Zayna Maria Mancia was born in Northport, Long Island. Total Long Island bitch.
I know, New Yorker.
Okay.
Yeah.
And cheerleader and dance team girl and
Awesome.
the whole 9 yards. And then I had to get out of New York. Made my way to California via being a shoe model.
Wow.
And then began to have my awakenings while being in California. I felt incredibly activated in California. Yes. And through a lot of various connections, just was kind of moving in the direction and ended up at Sun Bears gathering in Joshua Tree, which was a really powerful spiritual awakening weekend kind of thing that blasted me. I was so city that I wouldn't take off my designer shoes to dance barefoot around the fire because I was afraid somebody would steal them.
Oh, I've had that moment. Yes. I'm like, I'm going to go to my car, put them away, and come back.
Totally. And from that, from that moment forward, that weekend, I had my first outer body experience. I had my first telepathic conversation. And then on the drive home from there, was visited by a mothership, had a very friendly implant put in. I mean, just one thing after the next, and had an entire month of supernatural experiences happen that completely blasted me wide open. Wow. And so everything just kind of, blossomed and birthed from that moment in time.
And then you've been down the rabbit hole since?
Yeah, exactly.
Girl, can you back up to that mothership? Do you care to share about that?
Oh, my God.
Sure. I was, driving down the freeway at 3:00 in the morning under zero influence of any kind of plant medicine, et cetera, for major clarity, no Kool-Aid, nothing. And, this spanning across the entire freeway was a major mothership, which, I mean, honestly, I didn't even have the languaging for it at that time. I didn't even know it was a mothership. I didn't even know it was happening. And I was confused, scared and confused. And I put my foot on the brakes and I went through it with the sound vibration that sounded like whoom.
Oh, you went through the mothership?
Like went through it, yeah. Exactly. Like as if you could imagine putting your hand through the table, that there was space between all of the molecules that I could go through it. What? And had no idea what happened. Then very soon after that, I went through a standing, tall, huge meditating Buddha. Same thing. At that time, I didn't even know it was Buddha or meditating. Like I was just, what is that? But fast forward, actually found it the same being in a National Geographic magazine while I was on a walk, and I oh, what's that? And I open, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I saw in the middle of the freeway after I saw that mothership, And then soon after that, huge wings, not the body of a bird, but the wingspan, same thing. I tried to get off the freeway quite a few times, couldn't get off. I just couldn't get off until my exit, and was able to get off at that exit. Went up to my apartment in Hollywood, California, and wouldn't leave my room other than to go to the bathroom for 3 days. I couldn't sleep in my bed, only slept on my floor, and just went through this entire experience of integration. And then I was asked by my partner at the time to please come to stay at his place because he was really concerned about me. And I went to his place, and that evening, very different from the dream time, the ceiling opened up, and very, very benevolent, beautiful beings that are my starseed family came and placed the implant, but very, very clearly that this was not any kind of against my will violation. It wasn't a violation, but it was like a star seed planting.
Yeah.
To let me know that they have waited eons to reconnect with me, and this was the time.
Whoa!
And then the story goes on.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
But it's one of those things that some people may experience and may never talk about because people are going to think they're crazy. So thank you for sharing that, because that's important. And I think more and more implants and visits are happening right now. This is a time on the planet where there are a lot of messages, and if you're open to receiving them, you will receive them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was very, very clear that there was no violation happening. And so I feel very graced in that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's look at the titles. I would love to go through each one of them and just kind of get a background of what is a priestess, and how did you come to become a priestess? What is it that you do?
As a priestess, I am very clear that I am here to serve in a spiritual way. I am here to serve my community in the way that they want to ignite their personal spirituality. So I'm not specifically a priestess of Isis or a priestess of Celtic spirituality or a priestess of, any kind of specific religion, but I am very clear that I am here to serve in the birthing of people's spirituality. So it all is around service.
Yes, and very clear intention. Okay, and what do you do as a birth attendant and a death attendant?
I'm actually a trained midwife assistant. So over the past 20 years, I've been present at people's births, assisting, in childbirth.
Yeah.
And over the years, as my priestessing has continued and expanded, I've become a priestess birth attendant, where I'm actually requested and hired to come as a priestess to people's childbirth, to hold the altar, to hold the spiritual intention of the experience, and to keep that container that it is an entirely holy experience, whether the birth is happening in the hospital, in a birth center, or at home.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
So just holding that sacred space at a sacred time, and I guess for birth and for transition.
And for transition, exactly. So what was happening for years, before I even trained as a midwife assistant, I was just naturally being requested at people's births. And then I decided to do some training. And then the same thing started happening in the last, 7 years, I would say, around death. And I would just be all of a sudden show up at the bedside or be requested to come when a family member, of our community was transitioning, etc. And it was something that became so natural because the veils, I call it midwifing the veils. The veils are so similar. I find myself saying the same things in support to a woman birthing her baby to a person who's crossing over. It's incredible. Wow. And the time that what happens in that veil time, it's timeless. Mm-hmm. If you ever attend a childbirth, it is timeless. You can be there for 15 hours and it doesn't matter. Nothing else exists. It is absolutely the epitome of empty presence, being at childbirth and being at death.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's amazing. Just holding that space for people while they're going through some really deep spiritual stuff. And I acknowledge you, because what I'm hearing, Graell, you've just been following the path. Like, you've been just listening and you've been following. Because these things are unconventional in the conventional world, and we're, the paradigm is happening right now, and more people stepping into that, listening to that voice. Like, I don't know if you created this term, birth attendant and death attendant. Is this something you created?
Well, I'm guessing that it's already out there, but the same thing, honestly, sweetheart, I haven't done much formal training.
You don't need to.
I primarily work from my memory, and I know how many, lifetime after lifetime, I've incarnated as priestess or priest.
Yeah.
And it's something that comes so natural to me that it's painful not to listen.
Yeah. It's like a remembering, and keep stepping into it. Once you've awoken, is like there's no going back.
No.
And you
No.
said it's painful not to listen. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and then goddess yoga and heart nectar dance facilitator.
Yeah, these
sounds
so juicy.
Yeah, I know.
I professionally danced for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I danced
That's
in
right,
New
you
York,
cheered
and I also trained in New York, and I also professionally danced in Hollywood, California for years, and so movement is a very necessary part of my personal therapy.
Yes.
I must keep movement. And then years ago, my mom, 25 years ago, trained as a Kundalini yoga instructor and totally activated me into that lineage of yoga that I really resonate with. It really, really works for me. And so with following Kundalini yoga and my dance work, I make sure that it's part of my weekly practice. And then, of course, I bring the community involved because I am the cauldron of inspiration. My name title is translated as that, the cauldron of inspiration. So whatever I do, I'm very inclusive about it and want to carry the community into it. So with goddess yoga, as a priestess and as an elemental priestess, I'm really, really, really wanting to activate people's consciousness around the holiness of earth, air, fire, water, spirit, for without which we would not be. Period.
Exactly.
You know, and how many of us just go along with the grind and just don't even acknowledge the earth, the air, the fire, the water, like nothing. What is guiding our spirit, you know? So with goddess yoga, we do this yoga in circle with an elemental altar at the center. I give everybody an opportunity to do their own personal invocations of the elements. So there is practice and total non-judgmental support in that. So they can also do their own personal daily practice at home off of the mat of elemental invocation. And also how our body is the medicine bag. Mm-hmm. We are the animal skin filled with crystalline bones, filled with holy waters, right?
Yes.
Our feathers is our hair, right? The holy antenna that carries us. We have we are the earth, we are the air, we are all of it. It's all contained within our sacred medicine bag. So I'm always consistently really reminding what we have, yes, it's so nice to have our tools outside of ourselves, our magic wands and our pendulums and all these things that are really, really great to remind us that actually you want to use your pendulum and you don't have it with you, stand in your center.
Yes.
Ask your question. Let your body swing and sway. You want your magic wand, but you don't happen to have it with you, use your arm. You want your sword to cut cords, use your power. You know, so this is all involved in the goddess yoga. The yoga that I hold is the Kundalini Yoga Kriya set, as taught by Yogi Bhajan. I'm very clear when that aspect is part of the class that it's held is okay now. This is the Kundalini Yoga portion of goddess yoga. And then we come out of that and continue to do the elemental flow.
Oh, I love it.
That sounds so
I love it.
And then the heart nectar dance is,
Yes.
I'm trained in dancing freedom. And I also did years of, I'm completely spacing out right now.
It's cool.
With Gabriel Roth.
The 5
The
elements.
5
one?
rhythms.
Yeah.
The 5 rhythms. Thank you. I apologize
What's
to
the
the spirit
freedom
of
one?
Gabriel Roth for forgetting that. Dancing Freedom was with Samantha Sweetwater. She's amazing, an incredible sister who also lives in the Ashland area. I highly recommend it. I had my goddess temple, the Flying Lotus in Mount Shasta for years, and she did her first trainings, her teacher facilitator trainings there, and I had the absolute gift of being a part of that. And it's also elementally focused, and it's ecstatic dance. So with a little bit of that background, and then for years before that, I was actually holding Galactic Groove, which was something that moved through me. That was an ecstatic dance experience, but very galactivated, really coming from the star family.
Yes.
And, but also all intuitively guided. So I decided to merge my dancing freedom with my galactic groove, and then all the heart space work that I've been doing for years as well. So it is an ecstatic dance driven experience with total conscious music, world music, and same thing. We start in circle, we end in circle. The rest is filled in by you and your individuality, unique movement that you have yourself, but just letting it move from the heart nectar space.
Beautiful.
That is so cool. You letting people express that love, express that energy, express all that in their way.
Yeah, I'm way, way into supporting people's own path.
Expression, path, and just like you are just a space for people to, like you said, step into their spiritual life, self path, and then also like allowing for people to express themselves in that path however they need to.
And not feel afraid to be who they are.
Yes. Yeah. Birthing
Awesome.
the authentic self.
Yes, and it's so needed right now.
Authentic is the new sexy,
Yes,
y'all.
Life is so much more simple when you're just being you. Oh my God. Life is so much fruitful. It's so much happier when you're just being you all the way and not worrying about what that person's going to think and all of that. It's like you save all the drama out of your life.
It's less painful.
Yes. Less painful and brings you back to the primal self.
Yes.
Squat.
Let's take a squat. So spiritual couple intimacy. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah.
I had the gift this past year, 2015. I was in relationship with a beautiful beloved named Suma Shankara, and we decided to be really committed to a daily practice together. And in that daily practice, we co-created a series of chants and connection to deepen our relationship with self, each other, and spirit at large. And so out of that, I have been working with couples, supporting them to create this experience for themselves as a commitment to go deeper in their intimacy. And I can't describe the absolute union that is experienced for me, and what I had with Suma is what I call hiroskamos, this divine union of the solar king penetrating my lunar queen at a very cellular level that completely creates an amplification of divine light, illuminated consciousness that I had a very intellectual understanding of, but actually got to experience.
Wow, this year.
In 2015 I did.
Oh, that sounds so juicy. Yeah. But you know, it is, we hear about it, you know, sex is access to higher consciousness, and our partners are, you know, access for us to grow and really elevate our consciousness.
Absolutely. And it is totally possible. Totally possible. You know, this is also the work of the sex magic of the Magdalene priestesses, right? So as a Magdalene, we come in to make love with the Christ being. You know, and even the words, the codes are there all the time. Making love. King love. At Beltane in the Celtic mythology, you know, we are coming into place as God and Goddess, dancing the maypole. The pole is the lingam. The yoni wreath that comes over top is the yoni, and all of the ribbons coming out is the divine juices and the divine sacred sexuality and the absolute fruit of the community in union being woven together as we dance the pole. Right. Mm-hmm. And so
it's beautiful.
Yeah. There's so much magic interwoven into all of it, of course. But in this union, what does it bring? It brings fertility to the tribe, fertility to the village, fertility to the community at large. And of course, fertility doesn't necessarily mean everybody having babies. It's fertility on every aspect, and increase in creativity. You know, and so when we are making love in this way, in our fullness, you know, the Magdalene, who came to Christ at the tomb before, as part of the resurrection, the Magdalene priestess came. The Magdalene priestess breathes life into the crucified male, raises the consciousness out of the death cult.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay. there's so much involved in this. And so
it's so much that's been hidden. Like you're speaking some, you know, people don't know a lot of this stuff because it's been buried, it's been burnt, it's been hidden, it's been taken away from us. But this is the power of the goddess, the power of life.
Absolutely. I work with also a beautiful sister named Marguerite Riglioso, who is originally from my Italian background also, and she is in the Bay Area and has written some incredible books and has programs around the virgin births. And I highly recommend that if this is sparking anything in your memory, that you connect with her as well.
We'll put that on our website too, so people can tune in.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm thinking of people who are listening who, you know, may know a little bit about what you're talking about, but it may be foreign.
Yeah.
Where do we start? Where do they go? And what can we do right now?
Yeah. Right now, beginning with your daily practice, making a choice to commit to doing this experience, to tithe to the God of yourself. In doing a daily practice, even as soon as you wake up, just sit up and tune into, here I am on planet Earth. Here I am breathing sacred air. Here I am with holy waters inside of me, my tears, my sweat, my urine, my love juices, my blood, all of this circulating within inside of me. Here I am with the grace of the sun that has risen again. There's fire in me. I have heat inside of me. I have passion, all of these ways. And then here I am in my incarnated body, sitting within a spirit field. A lot of people imagine that our spirit is this like spark that's just in our chest, this little spark of light. You know, we're actually sitting within these huge magnetic fields of our spirit within.
Yes.
All of that, right? So just like imagining your chakras lit, you know, starting it's really easy to remember the chakra colors because they're in the order of the rainbow, right? Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, right? Blue, indigo, violet, just going right up your body and imagining right now, seeing each other in that color frequency, that all of us have those chakras lit all the time. So if we're looking at each other in that color frequency, we are all rainbow bridgers, right?
Yes.
Right? Rainbow. Look at break up the word magic in rainbow. Ra in bow. Ra, light,
yes,
in a bow. light in a bow, in an arch.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, there's word magic in everything. So when you start breaking down words in that way, it's really fun to see. Like it's code breaking all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. You have so much to share, girl. Thank you so much for sharing so much with us. And if you all are in the South Florida area, Graell is going to be doing a goddess yoga immersion.
Yeah, weekend immersion.
And what are the dates?
The dates are, what month are we in right now?
January.
I know. January 9th
This
and
weekend.
10th. It's this weekend.
So this weekend, January 9th and 10th.
At Yoga Source in Coral Springs.
Yes. So we'll also be posting that on our website. And, you know, if you want to learn more, I think there's so much to learn with you, Graell. And I think if there's any, you know, if you resonate with anything that was said today, come out. And then Graell also has a goddess temple in Ashland, Oregon.
I do. And you can find out information on goddesstempleashland.com. You can click Graell to see my specific offerings, but please surf that entire website. There's so many beautiful pictures and video and incredible inspirational things that we offer that could help spark your own temple. We've also written a book called Raising a Goddess Temple.
Oh my God. Tell us more a little bit about that.
You could purchase that on lulu.com. It's literally titled Raising a Goddess Temple, and it completely is a guideline on raising a goddess temple, either in your backyard, to a building, to using a teepee, a geodesic dome, anything. It's an excellent resource. I also have a guidebook to the Path of Sacred Living. That is a 3-moon self-leisure guide that you can do solo, or you can do with a group of people, that gives you an entire curriculum to guide yourself or others in the path of sacred living as a priestess or priest of the goddess. And that could be found on the Goddess Temple Ashland website as well.
Awesome.
And I also have a Goddess Sadhana book, a daily practice sadhana book as a guide that you can just be doing this all the time on your own. You know, my theme is live the workshop, live the retreat. We don't have to go away and do these things and come back to our normal life anymore. Like, this is our life.
This is the retreat.
It becomes you.
Yes.
Like when they say it's a lifestyle, it's a lifestyle. It's just a part of you. It's not something you just do once in a while.
Right.
It's like you're living that, breathing it, all of it.
All of it.
So we're going to pause. So much juiciness, so much wisdom, and so much love. Thank you, Graell, for blessing us with your presence and so generously sharing with us. So we're going to take a moment to tune in and tune out.
Inhaling deeply, pushing our belly out, and exhaling completely, pulling our belly in and up. Letting go, letting God, letting go into empty presence. This space of devotion, this time of expansion, this birthright of eccentric, ecstatic, experimental, and exotic love that we are meant to be is available at all times. Relax. Accept and embody the very truth, the very nature, the very gift that you are. With the highest love and the deepest gratitude, we are you. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Aho, amen. Jai Bhagwan. Thank you so much, dear brothers and sisters, for tuning in. Thank you for doing the work that you do on the planets. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. We love you. We see you. We know that you are the bomb.com, and we honor you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Peace.
Namaste.
You're listening to SoFloRadio.com.